Engineering Economy, and today, inshallah, we'll talk about the part one of chapter 6, which is about the annual worth analysis. The annual worth analysis is similar to chapter 5, the present worth analysis, in terms of the changing the value of money over time, and we calculate the value of money in a different time format. In the present worth, we used to convert all the values to the present time at time 0. In chapter 6, we convert the values into an annual, and we make the decision based on the annual basis or the annual payments. Why we do use the annual format or the annual analysis or the annual worth analysis? We do it when we want to make the decision based on the annual installments or the annual commitment needed to be paid to your project or to the cost of equipment you have purchased, or a car you have taken it through a loan, or so on. The present worth analysis, on the other hand, use or compare the alternatives based on the current liquidity you have. For example, you have money now, you would like to buy a land, apartment, or a house, and then your comparison will be based on the most economical alternative based on the money you have now or you will spend now. On the chapter 6, the money you don't have it, you will take a loan, or you are going to buy a car through the rental option. Then you will make the comparison between alternatives based on the annual commitment you are going to pay. So this is to show the difference in the application between chapter 5 and 6. Chapter 6, is there a voice? Can you? Yes, okay. The chapter 6 application, the good thing about them, it doesn't have the LCM, and this is mean you are going to compare alternatives based on the given number of years for each alternative. Changing all the values into an annual, this is something that is already, you are in a level, you know how to do it, like in this example. The capital recovery, it is very important part where I would like to emphasize. The capital recovery means the annual payment or annual amount needed to recover the first cost. You have purchased a car. To recover the payment of the car, you either have income generated by using this car, like a carpooling application like Careem, or delivering method like Hunger Station, all those applications. So you can generate money and you pay off the initial investment, or you have a job that gives you a salary and then you will recover this initial investment. The same thing for companies and products and organizations. When they have investment in initial project, they spend amount, so they expect annual income come from that project. That annual income or revenue needed to recover the initial investment or initial cost considered to be the capital recovery. When you calculate it with and you find it with a minus sign, you neglect the sign and you consider this is the amount, the absolute value is the amount needed to be generated annually to recover the initial cost. For the capital recovery, there is always a confusion come from students when they compare it or recall the payback. The payback period, it's a time, the time needed to recover the initial investment. The capital recovery, it's a value of money generated annually to recover the initial investment or initial cost. Therefore, the capital recovery does not have annual operating cost included. It is only the first cost and the salvage. Those comparison between payback period and capital recovery, it's very important because students always they get confused between them. That was, I think, yeah, for the comparison between alternatives, we don't use LCM as we said, we use a study period, or we use the given number of years for each alternative. For example, we have alternatives here, X and Y. We have the number of years for X and 6 for Y. To calculate the annual worth for this, each alternative, you use 4 years for X and 6 years for Y. If the question was a study period and give you the number of years, then it will not be exceeding the number of years given in the alternatives. And in this case, let me go back here. Yeah, we have to pay attention to the salvage here. This is similar to the one that I was explaining last time. You have a salvage value, and I believe there is another salvage giving. Let me check. Yes, here you have a salvage value, and then you have another salvage for the study period. So in this case, if you are going to solve part B, in this case, you use the salvage for the 3 years, and you don't use the salvage value for the 4 years or for the 6 years for alternative 1. But if you are going to conduct the annual worth method without the study period, so you will solve X for 4 years and Y for 6 years, then you use only the salvage value for the long period, for the whole period. This salvage value only used if you are going to do the study period for 3 years. And that's why you see the 14,000 here used in part B, but the 10,000 was used for part A instead of the 14,000. This is just an explanation. This salvage value could apply for any chapter, 5 or 6. It's the same concept, because the study period applied for the annual worth analysis and the present worth analysis. Now let's go and solve extra problems. And if you have any questions, please ask regarding to the first part of chapter 6, while we are going to present the first question. Here is the first question for chapter 6. A company used 2 different methods in their production line. Method X will have a first cost of 75,000 and operating cost 32K and a salvage 9,000. The number of method Y will have a first cost 140K, operating cost 24, and salvage 19,000. With the interest rate 10, which method should be selected? Now, it's annual worth analysis, so you know that it is going to ask you to conduct annual worth technique, chapter 5, or the present worth. So what will be the formulation for method X? So let's do it together here. Method X, we can type it, the annual worth for X equal what? Minus 75,000, yes, A given P, good. And minus 32, yes, excellent. Minus 32K, no need to convert it because it is already on annual basis. And A given F for the 30,000 is plus, sorry, and it is 9, not 32. Oh, sorry, the annual is 32K, then the annual, which is the salvage, which is the 9,000. Okay, the 9,000. Yes. Okay, so will be minus 75,000 A given P, because the first cost, it's in the present format, needs to be converted to annual. The 32,000, it is per year, so no need to convert it. And the salvage, which is the 9K, it is a future. It is a future value for to be converted into an annual. We use the formulating A given F 10% for 4 years. That will lead to minus for the minus 53,000 for method X. For Y, we will do the same, minus 140K A given P
minus 24,000 بعدين.
Yes, thank you.
Plus 19,000
yes. A given F for the percentage is 10.
10%, yeah, 4 years.
Yeah. The result will equal to
minus. It will equal something negative, I think.
Yeah, it will be. It is 64,000.
Minus 140,000 multiplied by 0.315.
Yes.
Minus minus $24,000.
Yes, plus 19,000 multiplied with 0.215, it will equal to minus 64.
Minus 64, $72.
Yes. So in this case, we use which method?
The annual.
Yeah, we use which method? If we select X or Y, yes, we select X because it is more economical. It is more economical than Y. Okay? Because it has the largest numerical value. Clear? If there is any question you can ask. The second question, we will do only part A, since part B is not included in this course, which is the geometric. Now let's do part A, and I would like from you to try to do it yourself now, and then I will help you, because this is where the part I was just explaining before we start solving about chapter 6. Company purchased an equipment for 285,000 and has a salvage value of 50,000 after 10 years. During this time, his average annual revenue totaled 52,000. Did he recover his investment using 12% per year return? So what is the requirement from part A? Capital recovery, yes, excellent. Why is the
CR, we
capital
use the
recovery?
formula CR.
Yes, because he said, did he recover? As long said, did he recover? That means he is referring to the recovery, about capital recovery. How we calculate the capital recovery? The capital recovery consists of two things. What are those two things?
Present and lesser.
ممتاز ممتاز علي. Yes, yes. The present and the salvage. The first cost and the salvage.
A salvage will be negative value. Right? لا, equipment, the purchased equipment.
The equipment, yes, the equipment will be with a minus.
Negative, yeah.
Value 12% for 10 years as stated in the project, plus what is the value will be the
salvage value $15,000 after 10 years.
50,000 A given F 12% 10 years. That will lead to minus 4,700, and you have to write per year because this is not just a constant value. It is per year. Why the capital recovery? It is an annual format, so it is per year. Now the question: did he recover from the initial investment or no?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did gain or recover or
his investment
paid back, yeah.
Because the CR value is 47,590, and the average annual is 52,000. So the average annual he has, it is greater than the capital recovery. This means he is generating more than what it's need to recover from the initial investment within the 10 years at 12% per year. This is how you answer this type of questions. You have to, when it says why, for example, this question, if I ask you, did he recover his investment? This is yes or no. Did he recover? That means yes or no. But when I said why, then you have to write the explanation. That means you understand he already is generating more than the capital recovery, which is the minimum needed. This is the 47,000, the minimum needed to recover the initial investment. And he's generating 52. That means he's generating more than its need. That means he will recover from his initial investment. That was all for the part 1 of chapter 6. In the next meeting, we will have extra problems for chapter 6, including the remaining part of the recorded session about chapter 6. So we will stop now.